Oh my goodness. Alright. Let's take a look here. So this is 2600 Widow. Oh wait, did the game already... Wait, let's back up here. So I think we just missed a fight. I think we're dropping in the middle of a fight. That was a good kill on the far though. Okay, so your method of taking Widow 1v1 here is a little bit interesting. Let's see what happens here. We're just jumping right into the middle of a fight. Alright. I'm gonna back up. There's two things that... Okay. So this far fight, I have no idea what is going on here. Like, I have no idea what led you to be on the low ground. I don't know where this fire came from. We're in the middle of, like, a fight, so I can't do much. the Jane emotes are appearing in chat. Oh, let me pop out the chat so I can make sure that I can read the chat at all times. Because otherwise it's going to be too tiny. Okay, so we're gonna skip forward. We're gonna skip through this. This is tough. If Afara is right on top of you, it's always gonna be hard to hit that headshot. Hitting the body shot is important. So this is where funky things happen. Okay, so unfortunately there's gonna be a big play button on top of this for some reason. But this is an enemy Widowmaker, right? And you're an enemy Widowmaker. So now you have to do the dishonorable Widow 1v1, which is not so fun. I'm always above you. Auto hot crew script that allows you to full screen. Oh, neat. So, the way that you engage in a Widow 1v1 is that there's two ways that you win. Or rather, here's the steps for Widow 1v1. Number 1, find the enemy Widow. 2, don't get found. So, make sure you see her, but she doesn't see you. And then 3, click head. And there are a bunch of texts that you can use to do step 3. But step 1 and 2 are the most important. Because if you fail 1 or 2, you're automatically at a disadvantage here. So let's take a look at what happens. Right? So you see the enemy Widow, and she sees you. So that your first step here should be to try and utilize this piece of cover, and then try and charge your scope in order to click on her head. And to explain what I mean by charge your scope, as Widowmaker, if you jump before you scope in, or if you jump and scope in at the same time, by the time that you land on the ground, your shot will be fully charged, so that if you land a headshot on a 200 HP hero, it will deal maximum damage and will instantly kill them. So it's important. Do you forgot forehead? Exactly. Hello, I don't know you. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you in chat. So to demonstrate this, I'm gonna open up Overwatch real quick and explain what I mean. But this is an important tech for Widowmaker if you are wanting to, if you are ever someone who has the problem of, I clicked on someone's head and they didn't die. Blizzard, are you opening? Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the pink Mercy. And Plays.tv is recording, and we don't need it to do that. Well, that's super cute. And it froze Overwatch? Question mark? What is happening? I hear noises Overwatch, but you're not doing anything. What is happening? It froze. It actually froze. Wow! It froze! Chat! It's happening already! Oh my god. Really? We just started the stream! Blizzard! Fix my game! It's busted! Holy shit. Do you have 2 monitors? Yes, I do. I have 2 monitors. Alright, let's try this again. That's why if you can hear and see me clicking, but nothing's happening on screen, it's because I'm on the other monitor. It's fixed. Don't worry. We're getting it back up. But yeah, I do. How much is it when you click on the buy button? Apparently chat says $14.99. Alright, there we go. Okay. So, let's go to practice range here real quick. I'm going to take a look at Widowmaker here real quick. So, Widowmaker is definitely one of those heroes where you have to have your sensitivity in a spot where you're comfortable. So for me, I like to have, I use 800 DPI now and 4.75 sensitivity in game for every single hero, and that's what feels comfortable for me. So at some point I want to make a YouTube video explaining sensitivity in detail, but it really is a matter of personal preference, and it comes down to your aim style. I'm a hybrid wrist arm aimer, so having a somewhat low overall EDPI works really well for me. And then the other thing is your relative aim sensitivity while zoomed in for Widowmaker. So if you see, that's my default sensitivity, and then I have something very, very similar for my scoped in. And I think generally that's what most people aim for. Some people like it to be a little bit tighter. Some people like being able to move really, really fast while zoomed in. I personally like to try and match it 1-to-1. So for me, 35 is basically 1-to-1 with my unscoped sensitivity. So if you have problems like this, oh wait,
double kill.
I'm too used to doing it that I'm used to actually completing the kill. Okay, so if you have this problem where you do that, you headshot someone and they're left with health left over. We're gonna hit this guy again so his health respawns. What you can do is you can jump and scope in, and usually by the time you've landed, you will do enough damage to instantly kill them. So that's why you'll see a lot of Widows go for these weird jump shots in order to avoid that, because that's bad. So that's a good tech to practice. But let's go back to the VOD. Let's take a look at the VOD. Isn't it 65%? Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't need to be 100% charged. But 65%, like by the time you land on the ground, it's fully charged enough to one-shot a 200 HP hero. We don't need the loot box opened right now. Oh my god. Alright, we'll open it. Jesus Christ. It's the loot box. It's open. Alright. We're going back to the VOD. So here, you took a shot. You had the opportunity to take a shot before she did, and you missed it, which is unlucky. So let's back up here, and we'll talk about crosshair placement. So you come up here, your scope's in, going for the tracer, and right about here is where I can tell that you've noticed this Widowmaker. So right here, at this point, if you've noticed an enemy Widowmaker, right, you have to make the decision, does she see me and can I go for the free shot, or do I think I'm going to die and need to immediately head for cover? And you have to decide, because if that Widowmaker sees you, she has enough time to charge a shot and kill you. If she doesn't see you, you have enough time to charge a shot and kill her. In this scenario, she is aiming come back up here at somebody over here. I think it's Afara who's shooting rockets at her. So, you have the opportunity here to go for a shot. And I think you just don't take it. And I think if you believed in yourself and had taken it, you actually would have killed her here. So, don't be afraid. Take a shot. The worst thing that happens is you miss. And if you miss, you can always reposition. So now at this point... Oh my god, I skipped really far forward. At this point, you've missed your shot on the Widowmaker. She's missed a shot on you. The next thing you have to think about is, what am I going to do next? And the way for Widowmaker that I like to evaluate this is think about if the enemy team is alive, right? If the enemy team is alive, and you have other people that you should be going for, sometimes it's worth disengaging from the Widow 1v1 in order to engage in free kills on members of the enemy team who are out in the open. In this case, there is nobody else for you to shoot. So taking that Widow, continuing that Widow duel and finishing her off and putting her on a stagger puts your team in a good place. So you've seen her shoot here. You know she's chilling out in this bottom area. So your goal should be to get an angle on her from a way that she doesn't expect. Because the last place she saw you was up here before she ran into this hallway and then came down here. So she doesn't know where you are anymore, but you know where she is. So you have all the advantage here. And you heard her hook. So you know she's behind you, and you get jumped by the monkey. So here, I think this death could have been avoided by playing more aggressively. As soon as the Widow battle was lost when you were over here, and she was over on this side, you either should have chased in this hallway when you heard her peek, or you should have been more aggressive when you knew she's in this hallway. Because the fact that this Widow battle went out for so long let the enemy team regroup, and that's why you get jumped by the monkey, because they have time to recontest here. So letting a Widow go uncontested for too long is always dangerous. For my birthday, we do loot box opening? Maybe. Maybe we could do something like that. I have an account that is accumulating loot boxes that we could open. Okay, so we're coming back. And your choice of positioning here is going to matter. Okay, nice. We hit the tracer. Nice, we hit her again. So your positioning here is a little bit interesting. Oh, nice shot. Nice shot again. Beautiful. But this Ground Widow stuff is going to punish you in later games. So if we back up, when you come back here, by the time you get into this area here, you start doing the thing that I think every Widowmaker struggles with, which is the I must be closer to the person in order to click their head. But in actuality, you can stay here. This area that you're in right now is a good spot if you don't want to be on the high ground. A great spot to stand. But when you're doing this, you're scoped in, and you're still just gradually walking forward here, it does two things. Number one, it screws up your aim. Because if you're moving along a horizontal... maybe I'll draw it straight. If you're moving along a horizontal plane like this, right? Then you only have to move your mouse this way or this way in order to track a target who is moving here, right? But if you introduce another plane of movement, right? If you introduce going forward and backwards, it means that in order to track this target, instead of going along the blue lines, this pink target can now move in any direction, and it's that much harder for you to hit them. Because you now have to also track up, down, and the diagonals. to accommodate for where their hitbox is going to move. So, if you're going to be positioned on the low ground, try and limit your movement, or really just in general, as Widowmaker, try and limit your movement to exactly one linear direction. And generally, the best direction is horizontal, so left and right. If you move left and right and forward, it becomes that much harder to hit people. So the other thing that you can do is, the reason you don't go on high ground right away is because your hook is on cooldown, because you use it to get out of spawn, which is fine. But your hook is going to come off of cooldown here, and you can tell where they're fighting, right? They're trying to contest two things. They're trying to come contest the point, and they're all coming from this way. So as soon as your hook is on cooldown, if you just go up here, you have free reign, because the only other person who can contest you is the enemy Widowmaker. You have completely free reign, because their Tracer's on the low ground, their Moira's on the low ground, and in a couple seconds here, you're gonna see their soldier, so you know he's not on the high ground either. So you do clean up this kill on the Tracer, and you're gonna try and shoot at this Brigitte, but you're gonna see that when she comes around the corner, or that when she comes around to the right side of the payload, that she has her shield up, and you can't do anything, because she's just holding her shield in front of you. But if you were above her, on the high ground here, you'd be able to hit that shot way easier. Same with these shots, too. Like, you hit these shots, and they're fantastic. But you might as well make it easy on yourself. If you're playing up on this balcony here, shooting down onto them, where them strafing doesn't throw off your aim, because they have to look up at you to shoot you, is always to your advantage. So you do want to play aggressively, but you want to play aggressively on the high ground. Because you get saved by your Diva DM here. And there's a monkey behind you. Which you don't see, because presumably he was on the other side of the payload. And you're on the low ground. Nice shot again. Like, you have great aim, which is fantastic. That's exactly what you need as a Widowmaker. But in terms of positioning, you have to be utilizing the high ground at all times. Widowmaker is way more useful on the high ground than she is on the low ground. Because as soon as they put shields down, you just can't do anything, and you're forced to retreat. Oh, the good thing is, you're taking smart paths of retreat. Wow, I can't words. Great shot. Great shot again. Beautiful! Alright, I believe in you. Yes! Click her head! Just like that. You're popping off! Wow. Wowie! That Moira. So yeah, this spot where you're in right now, I need to take a sip of my coffee. My throat's already getting dry. This is the spot that you want to dominate. But yeah, his, like, mechanically, as a Widowmaker, doing fantastic. Hitting great shots. Positioning is the #1 thing that will help you here. He just bought the game? Good for him! Like, he's fantastic. He's got great mechanical skill. It's just a matter of positioning here. Beautiful! So that's how you win a... Chat, let's go back. We're gonna watch this again. This is important. This is how you win a Widowmaker duel, right? As a Widowmaker, you know where the other Widowmaker is gonna want to be, right? Because if you play Widow, you know where you want to be to get shots. So as a recourse, you know where the enemy Widowmaker is gonna be. So she's gonna want to come up here to go for peeks. So you peeking this is to your advantage. Right? She has to come around here blind, and you know she's there. So this is beautiful. And she even pops sights. So the fact that she missed this is kind of a haha. Because she had sights. So there's no reason to miss this shot. If you have sights. But, look at that. Do you see the jump? Do you see the jump here? Right? The Widow's gonna miss. You're gonna jump. Charge your shot, click on her head. Beautiful. If you know the other Widowmaker is scoped in and is holding her scope, it is such an easy shot to hit. Because they're tracking in this very linear movement where their head is locked, and you don't have to because you're coming out of a jumping animation. Beautiful. And a monkey just landed on you. And you're going to hook away, which is great. Although I will recommend one thing. Because I think you're going to die because of how you chose to hook and when. Maybe not. We're going to watch this fight play out. You can do this. Take your time. You got this. Oh no, stay on the high ground though. Okay, well you got the good shot though. Good shot off though. That's worth. You can do it. Kick his ass. You got stunned. The low ground Widow. Yeah. Okay. So, two things to talk about. Monkey is always gonna want to jump you. Excuse me, because you're a high priority target for him. So how do you avoid dying to a monkey? Okay. First step is utilize the high ground, right? If you're on the high ground, it is very, very hard for the monkey to get to you without investing his cooldowns. And you always want to force any dive tank or any dive hero to invest cooldowns getting to you so that they don't have them to chase you. So, as Widowmaker, if we position up here, and there's a Winston down here, he has to jump to get me. And then I only have to wait a couple seconds for my cooldowns to come off. And the way I like to avoid a Winston is, I'm up here, the Winston jumps me, I just walk off the high ground and walk away. And I wait for him to chase. And just wait for him to chase. And as soon as he uses anything to chase me, whether he walks off the high ground, or he jumps after me somehow, like he waits up there until his jump is off cooldown, and he jumps after me, hook back up. And just continually make him expend his cooldowns to chase me. Because if he has to use his cooldowns to chase me, he can't kill me. Silent is a living embodiment of don't need positioning when you click heads. It's true, and he is clicking heads. But he'd be able to click even more heads if he had great positioning. So, let's back up and watch this fight here. So he kills the Tracer, which is fantastic. This is a great kill on Tracer. Your positioning here is great. You can literally stay where you are right here, and it's good. Because nothing can contest you here. Not even this Widow. So it's a good thing you hit the shot here. But then you stay on the low ground, and you hook into a Zenyatta. Which is always a mistake. A low ground hook into someone is always a big no-no unless you get the kill. You have to get the kill if you hook into someone, or else it's not worth. Because then you're trapped on the low ground, you have no escape anymore. Parallel high ground can be abused when Monkey jumps on you because you hook to the other high ground and call him out on his jump and kill him. That too. Or when anyone jumps you. Exactly. Winston's jump is shorter than grapple? Yes. So Winston's jump is shorter than grapple. And the way that you deal with that, right, if we tab back in here, is if he jumps you, right, you don't immediately grapple away. You drop, right? You buy yourself some time to get your cooldown back. And then hook away. Right? Make him chase you and abandon the high ground before you return to it. But if you call his jump, your team can then support you and you can double dink him. Exactly. So, in terms of positioning, right, when dealing with the Winston battle, Widowmaker is much like Mccree. If you get dived, you have two options. Either you escape or you click his head. Widow at least has the choice over Mccree because you can at least escape. Mccree can't escape. You just have to click heads. Wouldn't that just shorten the Winston jump and not the grapple? I'm not sure what chat is discussing. But that's my advice for dealing with Winston, is if he jumps on you, on the high ground, which is where you should be, walk off the high ground. Force him to chase you. Force him to choose between chasing you or maintaining the fight on the high ground. Because if he walks off the high ground, you can always hook back up and force him to continually expend his jump cooldown to chase you. and it buys you time to charge a shot to click on it. Like, his cooldown is always going to be shorter than yours, and that's fine. But it's all about... It's not saying, hey, I'm going to escape and he can never chase me. It's that he has to expend a cooldown to chase me. Which means he can't use that cooldown to chase my support. He can't use that cooldown to reposition himself. He has to use it to chase me. Potato Jim is now following. I think I missed another follow as well. Casual Samp is also following. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. If you drop before you grapple, then the Winston jump is still coming off cooldown, but since you haven't used grapple yet, so it's not recharging. I understand. Chad is discussing this. Alright. So let's continue with this fight here. You go down. A messy overtime fight is ensuing. I don't think you're going to make it back in time. Pop sites to hopefully try and help your team. But I don't think you're going to make it back in time. I think at this point I would have swapped Widowmaker and just gone something for the stall. Because they're going to cap. Oof! You get hook shot. Hitting them with the compliment. That's always nice. But there's a way you could have avoided that. Right? You pop sights. You see this gal going into the sky. The way that I always try and avoid this, because it's super hard to avoid, if you're out in the open like this, the best way to try and avoid this is if you have hook, try and hook away. If you don't have hook, spin 180 and look at the ground. And just crouch spam. And hope to God she misses. Because that's about all you can do. The way that you avoid being hook shot is like, you hope that you're either behind cover, right? There's the pole on the right here that you maybe want to kite towards when you're coming out of spawn, or you can kite towards this thing. But if you can't, and you're in a desperate situation, chat, and you really, really need to avoid getting hook shot or just getting domed in the head, and there's no cover available, you have no cooldowns, you just have to try and survive. Turn 180, crouch, look at the ground, and just try and force your head hitbox low enough that they can't hit it. Because on her screen, if you're scoped in, you're just standing still. If you're just walking out of spawn, you're just standing still. It's an easy shot. But look at this. He hits you with the TY. This is like a great Plat Widow duel. Both opponents respecting each other. Clicking on each other's heads. It's beautiful. Okay. High ground. High ground is your friend. This low ground Widowmaker is gradually going to punish you the higher you go. Alright. Will you continue to try and contest this Widowmaker? You're going to get jumped by a monkey. Going to hook away. Which is good here. And your Mercy's going to come help you. But you forgot about the Widowmaker. You saw where she went. Let's back up here. You saw where she went. This is what I call the Plat memory sync of, if I don't see it anymore, it doesn't exist and I don't know where it went, right? You saw her go from here to here, and you saw her shooting in this direction. You knew she was over there. It was not a mystery. You even back up and flick. You know she's there. So, this one's on you. This one's 110% on you. Instead of walking forward here, I would have immediately gone to contest her. There's no point as Widowmaker in walking into their whole team. You will always get deleted. Especially if they have a monkey, you will just get deleted. High ground is your friend. Contesting the enemy Widow is your job. So just because you don't see her anymore doesn't mean she doesn't exist. Widowmaker is more than just a clickhead's lol forehead. Although that's very, very... yeah, there are practice range sounds. Hold on. I forgot to leave. We'll go back to the loot box so it's quiet. And then as a result, your team kind of just staggers and loses the second point here. So this is a great spot to be. But again, don't walk forward. If you're gonna hold a position, Just hold it. Good dinks. Big dinks. Although this isn't a fight I would want to be fighting. They've already capped. You had to invest in ultimate to get the kill on the Zarya. There's no real advantage to your team fighting this. Your team wins for some reason, but there's no advantage in fighting this. If they've already capped and you don't have a way of quickly cleaning them up, it's not worth. Nice shot! Beautiful. Alright, now, the whole team is doing what I call the aggressive feed. Where, hey, we killed them up and we spawn camped. What do we do now? Do we stay in their spawn? Do we regroup? And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Just from what I'm seeing. Your team cleans up all the kills. Right? You're walking forward to support your team because you see them all in here. Here's what's going to happen. Your whole team is going to walk backwards and you're going to end up frontlining. Because you're not going to realize that they've all walked behind you. Oh, that was a nice shot. Nope, your team is all in the right for some reason. That's an XD. They're all chilling out on the right side, nowhere near their spawn. That's a bit of a ha-ha and a half. Good hook away from the monkey. Oh, that was close. I think did you get shield bash there? Hold on. This is important. Dealing with Brigitte. Just, no, she used shield bash. Okay, she hit you with her flail. That's what knocked you back. Disengage here is interesting. This is, okay. Right? So if you hook away, right? You didn't see the Winston use jump, so he's going to chase you here. So whenever you use hook and you know there's someone else who can chase you, you always have to think about, is that person going to chase me? Is it worth it for that person to chase me? And generally speaking, if someone sees you run away as Widowmaker, they're probably going to chase you because they're going to assume you're low HP. So I would have gone immediately to the mini on your left side. Right? You have the mini here. Oh my god. Dio. You have the mini here. There's a mini. And there's a mega over here. So I think your choice here is to run to one of these things. Because the person who's tickling you right now is Winston. Which means he can see your health bar. You gotta go, Yako? Thanks for stopping by, hun. Eat thin wheat thins. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. This Winston is tickling you, which means he knows how much HP you have. So if you hook over here and try and run back into spawn, it's completely worth it for him to chase you. Because he knows how much HP you have. He's the one dealing all this damage to you. So, in this scenario, retreating to spawn is not the right call, because for the Winston, he just has to jump you. And you get deleted. Fucking monkey. Yep. So you'll see, he can see your HP. It's totally worth it for him to chase you. Then we're swapped to Mccree here. Not a bad swap at all. Mccree. Some people have mixed feelings on Mccree in the brig meta. I think he's not a bad choice, but maybe I'll go into that another day. So coming out of spawn here. Be patient with these flashbangs. Flashbangs, be patient with them. A lot of people are like, oh, I just throw flashbang, easy clap, you know, win the game. Just use flashbang. Mccree is different from Widowmaker in one aspect, right? Mccree and Widow are both high priority dive targets for Winston. Widowmaker has an escape. Mccree doesn't. For Mccree, your only utility to help you click heads is your flashbang. Which means if you miss the flashbang or you use it indiscriminately or waste it, you are throwing yourself under the bus because any matchup, as soon as you don't have flashbang, becomes 100% a skill-based matchup. It literally just comes down to, is your movement good enough to dodge the enemy's bullets, and is your aim good enough to click on their head? So, this is going to put you in a funny spot. You're going to get grabbed, which is a little bit unlucky. And your teammates are going to get pulse bombed. And this is now a stall fight. They've got 50 seconds, one last push to try and push this in. Your Tracer gets rezzed. Nice. Fan the hammering the shield. Not a bad idea at all. Okay, good. This is good, right? Yes. No! That's so unlucky. Okay. Let's back up here. So, I want to talk about this. What just happened here is good, right? You're trying to delete the monkey and the monkey shield. You force him to primal, and that's really good. He has to use primal in a really dumb situation. Because his off tank is dead. So the only way he's staying alive is if he either disengages or primals. And he's primaling your spawn, which means you have the option of going back into spawn. Your teammates have the option of going back into spawn. Like, this is a big misplay by their Winston to ult their spawn here. Especially when there's still a fight going on. There's a bunch of people over here who are going to be able to come out and contest. Him primaling a solo Mccree into this corner is not worth it for him. Dude's getting into this, she even says no when the VOD fucks up. It wasn't the VOD. So here. This is unlucky. So, the Tracer crouches here because she knows you're going to throw flashbang. Right? If you're a Tracer player and you see a Mccree, you know his first instinct is going to be to flash people. And because she crouches here, and because you're throwing a flashbang at her as she's blinking, it causes some funky physics to happen. Because she lands on the ground at a very, very slow arc. If that makes sense? So, actually, I'm going to draw here, right? If a Tracer comes out of blink and you flashbang her, she'll still be on the ground, so she won't have any movement. It won't screw up her head hitbox very much, right? But if she blinks and then either crouches or jump, it means instead of up here where her head hitbox is kind of like on the same plane, her head hitbox goes like this. Or, worse, it goes like this. And it just becomes a nightmare. It becomes the Mccree head bobble nightmare. Like, her head hitbox, you can see she took damage. Her head hitbox literally went from here to here. Tracer head hitboxes are funky, and the head hitboxes in general, like head bobbles with flashbang, are actually ridiculous in this game. But her head went from there to there in like a millisecond. So, the way that you deal with Tracer is, if you know she has blinks, wait for her to invest those blinks. Because if you miss the shot here, she's going to recall. Or blink away. And you're going to delete it. So the way that you win the Tracer matchup is Tracer has 3 blinks, and she has recall. Recall is really, really hard to use to avoid flashbang. Really good Tracers will do it. Really good Tracers will be able to predict when you're going to flashbang them and recall before the flashbang even explodes. But it's very hard to do. For a Tracer, she can instantly blink whenever she uses a blink, right? So you can't say, oh, I've seen her use a blink, now I can flashbang her. You have to wait until she's used all 3 of these. And you can tell when a Tracer is out of blinks or is trying to conserve her blinks if she starts standing in front of you, crouch strafing. So if you see a Tracer crouch strafing, that's your opportunity to go for a flashbang here. So the way that you win that matchup is you be a little bit more patient, go for a couple of shots on her, and then flashbang when you know she is hoarding cooldowns in order to continue the engagement with you, or when you know she's out of cooldowns. Because for a Tracer, it's not advantageous to be dueling with a Mccree close range. It's a lot easier for you to hit body shots on her, which do a ton of damage. It's a lot easier for you to accidentally clip her in the head and delete her, because a headshot melee combo literally just evaporates a Tracer before she can even recall. So be patient. Flashbang patience is huge on Mccree. And now we're going to go make, because we're going to go try and stall, which is totally fine. Not a bad wall. Crosshair placement is a little weak. Oh, there we go. We got some big dinks. This is good. This is good. Go for the freeze on this bucket. Oh my god, that pulse was huge. Yes, wall her off. Beautiful. I love how Brigitte can stun people while she's frozen. Game. Hey, Slow List. Welcome to chat. Alright, good attempt at a stall. And good choice of skin. But good attempt at a stall. I take a sip of my coffee. And then we're going to skip forward just a little bit. Mccree! Widowmaker. Okay, we're back on the Widow. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Your Widow popped off. You can do it again. Believe in yourself. Don't tell your team you're gonna swap if you can't get picks. Because then they're gonna be like, just swap. Just swap right away. You're too stubborn? You were too stubborn? Unlucky. Also, welcome to chat, Silently Rooted. Good to see you. I forgot to say welcome when I saw you earlier. Thank you for submitting a VOD. But yes, be confident. Believe that you can hit shots. There's a reason Widow is so... I can't English. There's a reason Widow is so powerful in higher elos, and it's because their Widowmakers in higher elo believe that they can hit those shots. And you can hit those shots. I've seen you hit them in this VOD, which means you can do... Oh, that was so close. That was a really close shot. Alright, you saw her hook. How are you going to contest her? Nice! Yes! Beautiful! Now go high ground. Literally go high ground. You have to put your Mercy in a safe spot here. But I've harped on you for high ground stuff enough. Okay, flanking here is good. Oh, unlucky. So this is gonna force you to... Okay. Let's back up. Modelo with the sub. Tier 1 sub. Thank you so much and welcome. Welcome. Thank you, Modelo. So, I don't think the choice to flank here through this bottom tunnel is a bad one. It is an option. Hey, Modelo. Yes, it's me, your new coach. I don't think the choice to flank here is a bad one. Right? You know that the fight is happening here, so putting yourself back here is not a bad choice if you can hit the shots that you were going for. It's unfortunate that you missed them, and that as a result, the enemy team had to engage on you. But you killed the Widowmaker who was parked right here, which means all of this is now yours. Because there is no one to take it from you, because their entire team is playing in this pink area. So, high ground, once again, the king. Dio slowly becoming Girl Jane. Jane's just a Dio impersonator, clearly. Aw, and then you're swapping over to Mccree. Unlucky. You did well on Widow. You got a really high value entry pick in there. This is actually going to be a little bit tougher now for your team. Because as Mccree, dueling a Widowmaker becomes really, really hard if she has the high ground and the sightline advantage. Because for Mccree, you have damage fall off, and she just doesn't. Oh, you're going to swap back? Okay, we'll see it. Ambitious flashbang. So I'd be calling for help from your team and letting them know that there's a Zarya behind. Now you're like, how much charge does she have? Enough to whittle down a 30 HP Mccree with a dream. Jade is just a male Dio? Exactly. Okay, we're back on Widow. So I would have stayed on Widow the whole time, because you're gonna have like no ult to contribute to these next couple of fights as a result, because you've swapped heroes twice. Whereas the enemy team is gonna be building ults. Medela is now following. Did you sub before you followed? That's amazing. Nice. But remember, you shot that, she knows you're here, so be really careful here. If you don't know where she is and she knows where you are. Wow, your Pharah just queued a Widow and lived, which is amazing. Nice shot on the Tracer. Slowless with the subscription, thank you so much. Thank you. Twitch Prime sub. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See, this positioning where you are now is fantastic. Ooh, close. Beautiful. So your positioning there was fantastic. That's where you should be. Wait, their Tracer bombed your Tracer. Unlucky. Oh, this is an aggressive hook. This is an aggressive hook. You're very lucky you didn't get punished for this. High ground is your friend. Remember, that balcony... let's see if we can go back. Let's back up here. Just a little bit. So we can see the balcony. I want the balcony. Okay, right here. If you're in this corner, remember that's where their Widow headshot you from. This corner right here gives you sight lines of all of this on their side. So it's really good. It's really, really good to be up here. So rather than hooking into their whole team over here, hook up here. Ah! I want the play button. I'm gonna take a bite of my grilled cheese while they watch this. Oof! Okay, that was close. She hit the shot, and you didn't. That was a nice shot by her. I don't think trying to position there was a bad thing either. That's a really good sightline to have. Why is there a Brigitte in your spawn? What the? This person is feeding, except they're gonna live because they're a Brigitte. And they have 1,000,000 armor and their ult. Oh god, be on the high ground. You're in the middle of their whole team. Pro tip, if you're a Widowmaker and you're in the middle of their whole team, you will die. Every time. There are no shots you can hit by being in the middle of their whole team. She got away? Yeah. Because it's Brigitte. She has 1,000,000 armor. And a shield. But yeah, high ground is the key to everything. Key to happiness. This is a good spot here. This is beautiful. I'm actually going to go back and pause that there. So that chat understands why this is good. Like, this is a great spot for Ah, I went too far. Okay. You're gonna see it right here. This is so good. You have view of this balcony, which means you can contest this person. You have view of all of down here, which means all of these people have to either invest movement abilities to come to you, or they have to retreat around this corner. And if someone wants to come flank you, you have a view of the only flank option. There's a mega down here to your bottom left. There's a mini to your right. This is like beautiful. Just the only low ground position on this entire map, I think, as Widowmaker, that is actually good. Beautiful. Didn't even realize it when you were standing there? Well, now you do. Oh! Mwah! Beautiful! Like, this is another, again, this is another good, let's back up. This is another great spot. If you have to be on the low ground here. Why? Why is it a great spot? Mini, right here for you to retreat to. You have this entire hallway to use as cover to retreat back to your team. You have a mega still behind you to retreat onto. If you have to be on the low ground, these are the kind of spots you want to use. And you just catch the Tracer off guard and dome her. And you dome the monkey. Oh, get him. Oh! Beautiful! Yes, get him! Yes, get her. Yes! Oh! Oh, I'm so happy. Yes! 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 Delete them all! Dude, Kefri is just a budget silently worded. Oh, you're welcome, Marco. No, you gotta keep contesting her. She's your responsibility. Oh, you got grabbed. Oh, no. So this falls apart because your happiness, your joy of popping off lets you be in a poor position, then you get caught out. But it's okay because your team's cleaning up. I think, did I just see a Junkrat mine kill a Junkrat trap kill a Widowmaker? I sure did. That's a haha. Fat fingered your ult too. I mean, it's Widow ult. It's a little bit more forgivable to fat finger it. Just a little bit. Yes, beautiful shot. Alright, this is another good spot to be. And let's see. I want to see you rotate towards the left here and try and take the long. This is not quite what I was thinking. Okay. Well, let's back up because I think you're gonna get demolished here. Okay. So from here, the space where I want you to retreat in this scenario is to go from here over here into the mega room, or if you think that you can successfully go on a flank over here to the mini. Because for Widow, you want big, long sightlines. And the payload is the worst sightline you can possibly have because this shit moves, which means it's impossible for you to use it consistently as cover. And it's where all the fighting is happening. This is where the enemy team wants to fight. So you being on it means that they just get to kill you for free. My logic is, if I'm gonna die anyway, try and kill something I can kill. I thought I was gonna die. Unlucky. The answer to that is put yourself in positions where you don't think you're gonna die. So here, if you were just a little bit further back into the mega room, like just right behind you, it is pretty much impossible for the monkey to engage on you, because he has to use his jump to get to cart in the first place. And that's a lot easier for you to take this Widow battle, because you don't have to rely on a very unreliable piece of cover, aka the payload. And also this Brigitte wouldn't be on you either. Balanced hero, by the way. Oof. How do you live through this? They don't kill you somehow. Okay, there we go. The Moira orb fights you. We're gonna swap over to Mccree. Just don't die, that's a good tip. I mean, half of the time, don't die, and like thinking about where am I gonna stand, like don't die forehead is a legitimate piece of advice. Ooh, a May. Interesting. Let's see what your plan is here. Nice dink. So May on attack here with your current comp is gonna be a little bit weird. It's not a bad... Okay, so this isn't a bad wall. In fact, it's a good wall. But it's a good wall at a bad time. Because you are frontlining, right? The way I like to think of May is like a DPS off-tank hybrid. You have the potential to kill people, right? They have a Tracer on their team. You have the potential to literally headshot her and insta-kill her. Like, she just dies. She just dies. Jane and Dio and Jane streaming at the same time. Well, it's Jane's fault that he doesn't stick to his schedule. My time slot now. Too bad. May is so good. She's my favorite character to play. May's fun. But she also has to work as an off-tank in that your wall is really, really good for splitting people. Am I allowed to send you a VOD again if I play now? Absolutely. But I'm gonna open up VOD reviews on a different day, so I'll announce in the Discord when we're doing this kind of stream again. But yes, I will welcome people to continually send me VODs. Just because I've VOD reviewed you once doesn't mean you can't send me another one. So here, oh, this is good. Good dinks. So that wall was a good thing in that it split off their Zarya, but there was nobody to follow up with it because you were frontlining. Good freeze, good wall, or good ice block, good wall here to protect your team. But unfortunately, it doesn't come off cooldown in time for you to help yourself. So, patience here was the key, right? The wall was good, but you had no follow-up because you were frontlining. You have to wait until your team is in front of you and ready to follow up before you go for walls like that. Because if you use your May wall and you don't get any value out of it, it puts you in a tight position where when you get grabbed there, you have to use your ice block to stay alive. But if you had your May wall, you could wall, keep your ice block, and then use it to heal yourself. So it's a little bit unlucky. But it was a well-played game. You popped off on Widow. You honestly did. Mostly positioning errors. Very good mechanics, honestly. So that was really, really good. Very, very good. It's you! Popping off! Beautiful! Popping off! You popped off! So, be proud of yourself. That was very, very well played. I think your mechanics are above 2600. That's my honest opinion. Your mechanics are above 2600. Positioning, 2600. But mechanics, well above that. That was you 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm excited to see where you go next.